Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make some delicious green chile chicken tamales. In case you guys want to know how to make this super easy and delicious recipe, just stay tuned and I'll show you how. Alrighty guys, so let's get started with the ingredients. So for this recipe we're going to need 7 pounds of half breast with ribs or thighs, corn husks, 6 cups of masa for tamal, 1 1/2 cup of lard, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 14 tomatillos, chile serrano or jalapenos, 6 Anaheim peppers, a half of a bunch of cilantro, 1 onion, 1 small head of garlic, 4 bay leaves, a half a teaspoon of whole cumin, a half a teaspoon of whole black pepper, a half a teaspoon of oregano, and 3 cloves, chicken bouillon, and salt. So these are ingredients. Now let's get started. Alright guys, so first you want to make sure that you soak your corn husks a couple hours ahead of time. Alright guys, so in a large pot or a Dutch oven, we're going to fill it up halfway with water. We're going to set it on high heat. And now we're going to place our chicken breast. Okay, we're going to add our garlic head, and I just cut it in half and I just removed 3 garlic cloves that we're going to be using for our salsa. So we're going to place that in there along with our bay leaves, salt, and half of onion. So now we're just going to wait for that to come to a boil and then we can move on. Alright guys, so once it begins to boil, we're going to skim the top off of our broth. Alright guys, so now we're going to reduce the heat to low medium. We're going to cover it and let that cook for about 30 minutes. Alright guys, so meanwhile we can work on our tomatillos and chile serranos. So I already rinsed my tomatillos and chile serranos. I placed them in a small pot with water, and now we're going to set it on medium-high heat. And as soon as that comes to a boil, we're going to remove them from the heat. Alright guys, so as soon as our tomatillos and chile serranos come to a boil, we're going to remove them from the stove, drain them from the water, and set them to the side. Alright guys, so for the Anaheim peppers, we're just going to roast them along with the other half of onion. Alright guys, so once our onions have softened, we're going to remove them from the heat. And once our Anaheim peppers look like this, we're going to set them in a bowl. So make sure they're fully like that. We're going to cover them and make them sweat or let them steam for about 20 minutes. Alright guys, so after 30 minutes, our chicken is done. So now we're just going to turn it off. And we're going to remove our chicken breast from the broth. And the chicken broth, we're going to use it for our masa. So don't get rid of it. We're just going to strain it. So like that, our broth is clean. Alright, so just allow your chicken to cool down so we can begin to shred it. Alright guys, so after 20 minutes, we can peel our chiles. Okay, so just remove the stem. And it should be very easy to peel. And you also want to open it and remove the seeds. And just do the same to the rest of the chiles. Alright, so once we have them all nice and peeled, now we are ready to make our chile sauce. Alright, so in our blender, we're going to transfer our Anaheim peppers, our tomatillos, chile serranos, and onion, our 3 garlic cloves, our small bunch of cilantro, all of our spices, and chicken bouillon. And the chicken bouillon is going to be all to your taste. I'm using 3 tablespoons. So now we're going to blend everything together until everything is nice and smooth. Alright, so once we have our chili sauce, now we are ready to shred our chicken. Alright, so just remove the skin and the ribs. And just be careful. and shred your chicken. And it's still a little hot, so if it's easier for you, you can use 2 forks or use your mixer. Just make sure that you remove the ribs before you throw it in your mixer. Alright guys, so once we're done shredding our chicken, now we are ready to put it together with our green chile sauce. Alright guys, so in our pan we're going to set it on medium heat. We're going to add a little bit of oil, and once that heats up, we can throw in our sauce. Alright, so once our oil is hot, we're going to throw in our sauce. And into our blender, we're going to add 1/2 cup of our broth. Make sure you get everything from your blender. So now we're just going to wait for this to come to a simmer, and then we can add in our chicken. Alright guys, so once your sauce begins to simmer, I'm going to remove a little bit of the sauce, and I'm just going to set it to the side for once my tamales are done. We can use that. This is all optional. So that is what I'm doing. Alright, so now we're going to add in our chicken. And of course, you're going to try it for salt and see if it needs any. For me, this is perfect, so I'm not going to add anything. And now just mix it all together. Alright, so once we mix them together, now we're just going to let them cook for 10 minutes. Alright guys, so after 10 minutes, our filling is done. So now we're just going to turn it off, set it to the side, and allow it to cool down. Meanwhile, we can work on our masa. Alright guys, so today I'm going to be using my stand mixer. If you don't have one, don't worry. You can always, use the same method that I used on my previous videos. Alright guys, I'm going to start by throwing in my lard. So throw it in there. And we're going to start by beating it. So on low speed. Make sure you scrape the edges. Get the middle there. Alright guys, so after 5 minutes, our lard should have a lotion consistency. So now we're going to add our 2 teaspoons of baking powder, our 2 cups of masa, and 2 cups of our chicken broth. So now make sure that you're beating it as you're pouring your ingredients. Alright, so as we're beating, we're going to add more masa and more chicken broth until we get the right consistency. Alright guys, so for our 6 cups of masa, I used 4.5 cups of our chicken broth. So now we're just going to let it beat for 5 minutes. Alright guys, so after 5 minutes, our masa should be nice and soft. So at this point, it is done, and you can always test it by placing it in a cup with water. Alright, so grab your cup of water, add a small little bowl, and if it floats, it's done. So now we are ready to make our tamales. Okay, so I'm going to prepare my tamal steamer pot. So I'm just going to place hot water into the bottom of the pot. Alright, so once our pot is ready, now we are ready to make our tamales. Alright, so by now our corn husks should be super soft. So now we're going to grab our masa, and just make sure that you grab the soft side. That's where we're going to be placing our masa. Now placing the masa is going to depend to your liking. I like to get masa all over my corn husk. I know some people just add half of it. Like I said, it's all optional. So I'm going to grab some masa like that and then start spreading it. And your masa should be nice and soft, so you should spread with no problem. Alright, so once we spread the masa on our corn husk, we're going to grab our filling, place it in the center. And the filling is going to be up to your liking, depends on how much meat you like. Okay, so then we're going to grab one corner, overlap it like that, grab the other end, close it like that, and then grab the end and fold. Okay, and there's your tamal like that. So now we are ready to place it in our steamer. Alright, so we're just going to repeat the process until we're done making all of our tamales. Alright guys, so once we have all of our tamales into a pyramid, we're going to grab some of the extra husks and cover them, forming like kind of like a tent. So just go around. Alright, so we're going to cover them and set them on our stove. Alright, so now we're going to set it on medium heat and we're going to let them steam for about 2 hours. Alright guys, so it's been 2 hours and 15 minutes, and by this time our tamales should be fully cooked. So I'm just going to remove all of the corn husks. I'm going to transfer my tamales into a plate so like that the masa can set. Just transfer them out. Let me tell you, that smells delicious. Alright guys, so I got some of the tamales out and we're just going to let them sit for 10 to 15 minutes. Alright guys, so after 10 minutes, we are ready to enjoy our delicious tamal. So, flip it over. Okay, so we're going to open it. Just flip it over. Look at that. Alright guys, so I'm just going to top it with some more green chili sauce. But of course, you can top it with some sour cream or whatever. For me, this is going to be perfect. So now we are ready to enjoy. Alrighty guys, and now for the best part, the taste test. Seriously, the best. Super delicious, super flavorful. And of course, they're not spicy, but if you want to add more chiles serranos, you can always, add more. So it could be a little spicy, but let me tell you guys that it is delicious just the way it is. It is time consuming, but it is super easy to make. I really hope you guys give it a try. So good. Alrighty guys, and there you have it, how I make some delicious green chile chicken tamales. I hope you guys had enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Share it with your friends and family, and if you recreate this recipe, please don't forget to tag me on any of my social medias. And if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button so you guys can be part of our family. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.